Breaking news out of Washington, where the United States Senate is debating what would be, as a factual matter, the largest change and cut to the modern safety net in our time. President Trump's legislative agenda itself hangs in the balance. There are things in here that people think are very bad, big cuts to health care. There are things that Trump says are very good, but all of it drives through this budget process. We can see the Senate floor where they've been having what they call a vote-a-rama. The final vote on the budget could be hours away. There have been 2 defections already, so Republicans can actually only afford to lose a single additional vote in this round on the budget, with the deadline of the holiday barreling towards them at the end of the week. Now, Democrats have been doing their version of resistance, however slow and grinding the process is. This is not like what we've seen out in the country with No Kings protests or even Senator Cory Booker's dramatic, long speech. This is the more dry aspect of the Senate, but still a place where Democratic senators say they will use every tool and lever they have while warning about what the bill would do.
When Donald Trump says this bill won't cut Medicaid, he's lying.
This is the most deeply immoral piece of legislation that I have ever voted on.
It's only a beautiful bill if you're a billionaire or a very wealthy person.
When he says this bill will grow the economy, he's lying.
These Republicans are scared of a tweet from Donald Trump.
It's a horrible piece of legislation. People are fearful.
When he says this is the best thing Congress could pass for our country, he's lying.
Senator Schumer there giving his version of an echo or rebuttal to what Donald Trump says. Democrats say that this bill is not just a difference of views about how to manage the debt, it grows the debt, or what to do about health care. It pushes many Americans who currently have a health care off it. And for people who don't follow the Senate as closely, who are busy living their lives or even making sense of their summer, spending time with family, friends, and kids, all the normal things, well, they're about to be hit, if this thing passes, with the loss of health care. They'll find out about it sooner or later, and that's why some Democrats you heard there say the whole thing is actually immoral. Now, we'll run through just some top-line numbers. This is fiscally irresponsible by any definition because it's a choice to add trillions to the debt. And the choice is made not because there's some big expensive thing that the country needs or some foreign war or obligation, but rather a decision to give multimillionaires and billionaires even more in tax cuts. As a bottom line matter, the numbers you see on your screen mean that $2 trillion will go up towards the wealthy in a way they otherwise wouldn't get. $1 trillion cut out of Medicaid, 12 million people, ballpark, losing their health insurance as mentioned, another $186 billion cut out of support for some of the neediest in our country, including people who need food assistance. Republicans trying to defend it.
It's the best product that you can produce with the votes you can get.
What do you think this means for President Trump's legacy in the second term?
Well, this is his legacy.
You can also fulfill the promise of mass deportation.
President Trump is popular, and the bill is extremely popular.
We can debate Donald Trump, indeed. If you can hear the sound of my voice, if you're in America or follow American politics and news, you probably know that Donald Trump is not a very popular figure, but has managed to get elected again, that his popularity is somewhere in the low 40s. Whether you call that very popular or not is up to you. But when it comes to the bill, it's not even close. Across the board, this is a 20-point plus gap. 59% of the country, including a heck of a lot of people who are conservative or voted for Trump, saying they already oppose this budget, which hasn't even passed yet. That's just based on what they have heard about it in the summer with a heck of a lot of other things going on. In other words, it's got to be really bad for this many people to know what's in it and tell Fox News it's this bad. I want to bring in our experts tonight. Jason Johnson, politics professor with Morgan State University, MSNBC contributor Juanita Tolliver, an analyst for us, and the author of A More Perfect Party. Welcome to both of you. Jason, they have the power. They have some momentum, the Republicans do. And so if this were a kind of traditional GOP policy bill, I think you and I both know it would have passed by now. It seems to have so much in it that even, quote unquote, even Republicans are concerned about.
That's the thing, Ari. There is too much in the bill.
And most Republicans or most elected officials, their primary job is like, look, I'm trying to get reelected. And so if you have a bill that has too many potential negative consequences, even the things that they do like in the bill, they can't vote for because they're going to have to answer for the bad parts. So that's why you have people like Thom Tillis saying, look, I'm going to make a moral judgment here. I'm not going to run for reelection, because he knows he couldn't have defended this bill if he was running for reelection. And that speaks to, frankly, Ari, the larger problem that the Republican Party seems to have, which is, while they have policies that a majority of American voters said that they wanted last fall, in actual execution, nobody likes what they're talking about. And so now they're stuck with a bill with an arbitrary due date, and they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I want you to go on, finish any other thoughts you want to share, but you mentioned Tillis. I think you might know, you could say I'm biased, but you might know that we have a pretty crack research team here on the beat, and their mind is where your mind is. So before we go any further, let's just listen to what Jason happened to mention off the top. Senator Thom Tillis, North Carolina Republican, pretty conservative, but he's still in a factual universe where kicking this many people off health care and Medicaid is a no-go. Take a listen.
What do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there? I'm telling the president that you have been misinformed. You supporting the Senate mark will hurt people who are eligible and qualified for Medicaid.
People like his constituents, people in North Carolina. We wanted to share that. Jason mentioned it because it's become this whole clash. Tillis said this was his line. He's not going to sort of be in the middle end of his career and take a vote to undercut health care for those individuals. Trump was threatening him in all sorts of ways. We all know that routine. And Tillis said, fine, I won't seek re-election, but I'm not going to sell out my constituents' health care. Wall Street Journal says it could put Trump's whole presidency at risk, opening up a seat that is another pickup opportunity for Democrats. Jason?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the problem, right? They can call it the big, beautiful bill all they want. Democrats can call it the big, bad bill. You can put yourself into whatever BBB tizzy, that you want to get into, right? You can try and spin this however you want. But people can read, and they've heard what they want to hear about this, and they don't like it. And those Republicans who know that they have to face their constituents next year, they have to figure out, what am I more afraid of? A primary by a Trump-backed candidate or getting kicked out of office in 2026? And I hope more of them make the decision that they're more concerned about the effect of this legislation on their voters than they are with something that comes from Trump.
Jason, you got more hope than me, friend. That's what I'll start by saying, because I don't have any faith in any other Republicans stepping forward and voting no on this.